Who puts those pressures
Right.
on a man?
That's when men used to protect, provide, and shut up. Protect, provide, and shut up.
When a man consistently lacks certain things when it comes to that, how is that woman going to rely on that man on the agreement that he made?
Do you see the tradition in that? If the man was in that position, he's never going to treat that girl that way. It's all a lot of old bad conditioning that we need to get rid of and just treat people as people. Just because we're talking don't mean they
Right.
understand communication.
They don't communicate at all. A fear of, I'm going to say the wrong thing if I say it this way. I don't want the backlash. I'm just not going to say anything at all. Because if you feel that way, then you don't trust that person.
Speaking on going to therapy and talking about your feelings or your thoughts, when it's said to us, they view it as complaining.
Like, how do you solve problems if you can't talk them through?
They hear you, but they're not listening.
Oh, come and talk to me. I really want to meet you, girl. I really want to know your name. Can we talk for a minute? Can we just talk?
All right, people, y'all asked for a part two, so we are back. Welcome back to Intimate Conversation with Cheri Dominique. How are you doing, Miss Lady? How's life treating you and things of that nature?
It's busy. Yep.
It's
It's
busy.
busy. Yes. It just feels like busyness, and I'm trying to get back into the flow of my life, because I had a lot going on over the last 6 months, but I'm trying to find my vibes and
Are you finding balance?
I don't even know if balance is really a thing. Because it just seems like it's always ebbs and flows in life. And soon as you think you found that sweet spot of like, okay, things are going good, things are calm, I'm managing this and that, then something else comes about and you gotta adjust, and you're like, you know what I mean? So I don't know if balance is really a thing, but I try to manage my life as best as I can.
That's a fact. That's all we can do.
Yep,
That's all
exactly.
we can do. All
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
You said you have a list of questions, and I have some questions as well. Um,
Okay, I'm ready.
where do you want to begin? Do you want to begin with your list, or like where do you want to begin?
Um, okay. If you want to open up the floor, I'll start with my questions.
Okay.
So I have them in like categories.
Okay. I'm ready.
All right, so Bet. So thanks again for the opportunity. I'm really hype about this conversation because I felt like we left on like this cliffhanger,
Right.
and I had it jotted some questions down so I won't forget what I wanted to ask. So I want to start with the inner work, something that we discussed on the last podcast where, a lot of men and women neglect this and create trauma bonds, right?
That's a fact.
So my first question is, why do some men avoid resisting sitting with themselves in their sacred space to heal, even when they know their patterns is going to ruin the relationship?
I kind of speak to this a lot, and I don't know like if women understand the depths of it. So I'll
Mhm.
say a lot of men are more ignorant than women may know. So when you're speaking to why he's not seeing his patterns, he's not seeing the repeatedness, he's not seeing that this is like a trauma bond situation, or he's not sitting by himself to reflect, it's
Mhm.
because he don't even know that this is happening. Like you people think of patterns and they be like, I choose a certain type, or I know my pattern. I know like 3 months down the line I'm gonna start acting stupid because that's just how
Uh-huh.
I am. Like,
Yep.
but the person that you're talking about, they don't know that. Like they don't see that. Like they're just doing it. They're
Wow.
just
So
doing
they
it.
lack self-awareness.
Right. Right. So a lot of men lack self awareness. A lot of men are ignorant to the fact of their patterns, and a lot of men just don't know like their emotional intelligence or their emotional maturity. They don't know,
Mm,
they can't see themselves. That's why I always preach to women to talk to him.
mm-hmm.
You have to like let him know that he's doing these repeated things, because
Right.
a lot of people just don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow.
that's what I would say. They don't see it or
Yeah.
understand it or
Or
understand it.
understand it.
Right.
Now I can't even get to my second one because I feel like we got to unpack that because it's like, okay, if they lack self-awareness or they
Right.
lack understanding, if you're trying to make them understand, not even make, because that sounds forced, but if
Yeah.
you're trying to help him understand by giving examples of what it's like, right, or how it affects the woman,
Yeah.
and there's still no transformation, then what do you say to that when they then know because they were told and showed, you know what I mean, shown.
Well, it's a process. So when you tell a person or you show them, that they're doing
Mhm.
these things or that this is their patterns, now that person has to be open enough to take it in. Are you talking to a person that's just a communicator? Like,
Right.
because a lot of people, just because we're talking, don't mean they understand
Right.
communication.
Yes, exactly.
So if you're
Mm.
talking to a person who's open to receiving what you're
Hmm.
saying, then it's going to be a process of him saying, okay, maybe I am this, and maybe I do need to work on that. And then that will open up the floodgates for trying or effort to stop doing those things. But it
Okay.
has to be a conversation. Like you
Hmm.
can't. It starts with the conversation, and it starts with the person being open enough to receiving that information.
That's good. That's good. So communication, being open to communication,
Right,
and then willing to listen and process
right,
and make the adjustments. That's
right,
good. So that's like accountability too. So
right, right.
okay. You want me to flow or you have questions? You want me to go
I
you
was
want
going to
me to go
say,
through mine?
yeah, you can go through yours, but I have a bounce off question to what we're speaking about. So
Okay.
in conversations, there's going to be
Hmm.
people who, like I said, can't they hear you, but they're not listening.
Right.
So when you bump into those situations, how would you treat it? Like you're having a conversation and you're telling the person that they're acting in this manner, but they can't see it or hear you. Now, how would you know, treat them?
Approach
Like
that.
how would you move forward?
To be transparent, I have a lot of grace,
Okay.
um, and a lot of patience with that. Um, but I feel like if I'm communicating and my communication is clear, and I'll let someone know my requirements or expectations or my hope for, whatever, the goal is or the hope is, and usually I will show an example of this is how, when you do this or when you say this or when you don't deal with this or neglect this is how you make me feel. This is how it affects the relationship overall. And I think that again with my grace, it's that long suffering, but I'm trying not to suffer too long, you know what I'm saying? But it is like, you try to be patient. I try to be patient and understanding. But if it get to a point where it's like
You just ain't getting it.
there's no resolve, I feel like, okay, now I'm looking at you like, oh, this is a choice,
Right.
or you're just negligent, or you don't take it seriously enough, so now you're not valuing me, you're not valuing the relationship. And then for me, I feel like I start to withdraw because now I feel like I go into this whole protective mode where it's like,
Right.
okay, so you're not even protecting what we have, even when I bring it to the table and it's something that's a repeated thing or a cycle. and it's not being taken care of, then I start to reassess, honestly.
Do you believe that two people should be on the same communication wavelength?
Um, in terms of the communication style,
Right.
not necessarily, because I feel like men and women express themselves differently. You know, let's say, because I know some men say women are emotional, and
That's a
women
fact.
say that men, but there's some men that's emotional too. Though. Come on
That's
now.
true.
But then I'll say men are logical, like they just think and think and think, right? So I think for me, I'm open to I'm open to the approach. I just want it to be real. Like
Okay.
I'm not that sensitive to how it's delivered. You just gotta deliver. Like you gotta let it land. Like, and I just feel like for me, the conflict is you won't communicate. You know
Right.
what I mean? And feel comfortable enough to express what it is that you're trying to convey. Like to me, that's a conflict. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I don't think that I have to have the same communication style. Um,
Yeah. So maybe it's not the style. Maybe it's just the lack of.
but it's the lack of, yeah, we have to communicate. We definitely do. I feel like a communicator um is also a good listener and someone that wants the problem solved. But if you don't know how to communicate, then you don't really it to me it, I would think that you don't, like, how do you solve problems if you can't talk them through and express yourself? To me,
So
that's not healthy.
super not healthy. In your journeys, and even like with guys that you have dealt with, or clients, do you feel like
Mhm.
people? Do you feel like it's more or less people that communicate, just don't communicate, or don't know how to communicate, don't
You
know
know
how to
what?
express themselves?
Yes, I would say it's more of not knowing how to communicate, or they don't communicate at all. Like it's like a fear of, I'm going to say the wrong thing if I say it this way. So because I don't want the backlash, I'm just not going to say anything at all. See what I'm saying? So
Right.
then, and I think, and I can't speak for every man, but I think some men feel that way when it comes to women. Like, I already know she going to crash. I already know she going to trip. So I'm not even going to talk to her. And I think that that's that's like a, I don't know, that's like a breakdown for me.
Right.
Like because how can you be in a relationship partnership if you can't communicate? And also it goes even deeper than that, because if you feel that way, then you don't trust that person.
That's a fact.
You
That's a
know what I
fact.
mean? There was something that happened where you feel like, I don't trust this person. This person is not my safe space. And because whenever I express myself, this could be men or women feeling this way.
Right.
Whenever I express myself, then it's always something. So then you stop talking.
Do you know that there's a lot of relationships that this is where they are?
Yeah,
That's a fact.
exactly.
That's a fact.
Exactly. And I just feel like you have to really ask yourself, is this a relationship? Because it sounds like tolerance. See,
Right.
I'm always going to keep cutting and cutting and cutting it down to the core, because then it's going to have me look at the next thing, like what we just talked about. If you can't communicate, then you lack trust. If you lack trust, then it's like, really, what do you have? Like, you really don't have a relationship. You just tolerating each other until you feel safe enough again to deal with each other in the terms that you agreed or whatever. Like, I don't know. That's a lot. That's a lot.
It's definitely a lot, but from the conversations that I see and hear, it's more than less. That's
Mm-hmm.
where people are. That's where people are.
Yep.
So what's the next question?
All right. So, um, all right. So I have, what roles does upbringing, culture, or societal expectations play in resisting healing or therapy? So is
Be,
it your culture? Is it a man's culture? Is it a man's upbringing? Is it like some societal pressures where it's like we don't do this type of
Right.
thing?
Right.
Like
I guess
what's
I
that
guess
like?
all those I guess all those kind of tie into the same way it's viewed. So it's viewed like if
Mhm.
you go talk to a therapist, you're crazy.
Right.
that don't mean
Which is
you're that don't
false.
yeah, that
Right.
don't mean you're crazy because you go see a therapist. That just means you got shit that you need to work out.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Mm-hmm.
that don't mean that you're crazy. So it's viewed a certain way. And also a lot of people don't speak to the financial part of it.
Mm. That's good. Yep.
Like everybody just can't go pay for therapy or get free
Yeah.
therapy.
Yeah, that's you know what, that's something. That could be
Right.
a blockage. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like just like, oh, how much is this gonna cost?
Right.
You know what I mean? And you just don't even check it out. You just avoid, so you're it's an avoidance,
Right.
basically.
And then you have the people who will be like, I don't want to tell a stranger my business.
Mm.
So there's variations
It's a
into
lot of
how
variance.
yeah, into how it's viewed. And it's like, so it's like, say if we're a couple and we go see a
Mhm.
therapist, now you might feel like the therapist is on my side. I might feel like the therapist is on your side. There's a lot of things that play a part into it.
Right.
So you got to find the right therapist, even if it's just you and you're not a couple. You have to find the right therapist that fits for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
Mm-hmm.
that's why I spoke to healing, and when in healing, it's work. People are
Yes.
lazy. To me, people are lazy.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
this is a lot. This is a lot. We talking about everybody can't like the way you see how we having a conversation. A lot
Right.
of people they can't make it to this point.
Exactly.
So that's a lot of work to have a conversation, to go
Mm.
out and seek a therapist. And then people like, I gotta go to work. I gotta get my kids. Like I don't got
Right.
time to be dealing with that.
Yep. Yep,
So
exactly. So what happens then? So if whether a man or woman feel that way, whether it's, well, we're speaking on men. If it's
right,
your, your upbringing or your fear of financial responsibility, or maybe cultural is like, black men, we don't do that, or
yeah.
even with like privacy issues, like, okay, um that person gonna know all about my business, which in reality that person don't know you, so they don't care anyway. It's just,
Right.
it's more so like your mind playing tricks on you, like, oh, you know what I mean? But if these are like the stumbling blocks and one person refused therapy, couples therapy, or the individual, but they refuse therapy, but they're still in the relationship, then how do you navigate the relationship when one refuses therapy and the other one is willing for therapy? Do you table that? Do you just like, okay, I'm gonna give it a few months and see if he opens up? You know what I mean? Like, how do
I
you
don't
deal with that?
I don't think that you should table it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it first starts with y'all's communication. So
Mm-hmm.
how y'all talk to each other, it could be like, if you're my person and I really want to fix this, and you're
Mm-hmm.
telling me that this is something that we need to do, I should listen to you, or I should
Right.
make the effort, or I should make the effort to be like, if this is going to be something that's going to make us get to a better place or bring us some understanding, or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
however it may be, it's the
Right.
effort into it. Like it's the
Exactly.
effort into willing to try. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people don't put those efforts into it for whatever reason, but
Right.
it's it's just the effort into it. So it's even
Right.
like for black
Mm-hmm.
men, it's like you're not allowed to have all of these feelings. You shouldn't have all of these thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
You should just wake up and go to work and take care of your family. And if
Mm.
you bitch about it, you're not a man if you bitch about it. You can't
Wow.
you can't even have a feeling or emotion about the shit that you got to do every day.
I miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up. Protect, provide, and shut up. I miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up. Protect, provide, and shut Now,
Right. That's
So
something.
yeah, it's a lot.
Damn. That
It's
is a lot. That is a lot. And you know, when you say it like that, it's like, man, who puts those pressures
right.
on a man? Like, is it the woman? Is it the responsibility? Is it society where it's just like I'm max
I
to
think
capacity? Like, how can I care about myself when I got all these other responsibilities?
right, right. I think it begins with society, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
condition, and then it's like conditioned into the
Condition.
woman. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
then it's conditioned into the woman. So once y'all get together, that's their
Right.
ideal of what a man is supposed to be. So ever since you've been little, this is the condition on what they think a man is supposed to be. And you can be
Mm.
like, first of all men are not the same.
No, that's
So
true.
how are you putting one standard condition on all men?
That's
That's like
true.
if a man was to say, well, if every woman did, any woman that didn't cook, she's not a real woman. No man ever
Mm-hmm.
says that. A
Right.
man would never say that because it don't make no
Right.
sense.
It don't make sense. But we do that a lot. Like we
Right.
pigeonhole each other a lot, you know, which is unfair. But
Right.
I feel like that's definitely a hindrance. Like when it comes to like relationships or being open minded to relationships.
It's a fact. So yeah, all of those play a role in the way it's viewed from society.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't work and take care of your family and don't like you talk about speaking on going to therapy and talking about your feelings or your thoughts when it's said to us if you that like they view it as complaining. Like they don't view it as a thought or a
Mm.
feeling. It's viewed as complaining. As soon as you say anything, it's viewed as a complaint.
Oh wow. Mm-hmm. Dang, that's something.
Hmm.
I I never heard it like that. That's something though.
Right.
Wow. So women will hear it as complaining.
Right.
What do y'all hear it as when we come with our issues or concerns? Do y'all hear it as nagging or
I mean,
bitching?
if it's excessive, you may if it's
Right.
excessive,
See?
like if it's excessive, you may hear it as nagging or bitching. But
Right.
we're conditioned too that that's just women.
Mm,
So it's all bad conditioning, and I
it
try to say this a
is.
lot. Yeah, I try to say this a lot. It's all a lot of old bad conditioning that we need to get rid of, and just treat people as people. But
Yeah.
people want to use traditional or society roles and stereotypes to their advantage.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a woman could be like, you as a man should be X, Y, and Z and do X, Y, and Z. But
Oh
you
yeah.
can't do the reverse. You can't
Yeah.
say, all right, so what are you gonna do? Are you gonna get in the kitchen and cook? And
Right. Exactly.
they'll be like, we're not in those times no more. I don't need to cook no more.
Exactly.
So it's like you still
Uh-huh.
it's crazy.
That's true. So we have to create our own
Right,
traditions moving
right,
forward.
right.
And I think that that's also, yeah, I can see where that's a hindrance too, because you might be looking at the way your parents' upbringing was, or like your grandparents or whatever, or looking at other people in general. Like this is what works for their household, but you got to really create and cultivate what was going to work for you. Like it's
Right.
going back to those agreements and alignments that you set for your relationship. And I think that oftentimes some of us don't do that. And then
That's a
I
fact.
think that we have these unrealistic expectations for other people to live up to, which is so much pressure, and it's unfair actually.
So even you, as you spoke to like mainly growing up with your father, right?
Yes.
All right, so when you start dealing with guys, did you look for them to do the role that your father was doing, or did you just look to them like, I like you?
You know what? That's a good question. I like you.
Right,
And, and giving them an opportunity to show me who you are. But I will say though, it has come up like in my mind when if I'm in a relationship and let's say it's like a serious relationship, right? Like, okay, we're like in this thing locked in or whatever, and you drop the ball with certain things that I
Right.
feel as a man you should have picked up and you should have carried, it makes me think about, well, my dad was a single dad. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, I never really heard him like complaining, and it's true. Like,
See?
I never heard him complaining. I know complaining, but it's true. Like, let's say example, like, like, damn, I got all these bills, and this about to get turned off, or this about like I never. And I'm not saying we were living luxury. We
Right.
weren't. But I never heard my dad complain about no bills. Like I never heard him. I would literally see the bills
Right.
on the table, on the coffee table. You know what I mean? With his little weed and his little drink. Like I literally would see that, and I knew like okay, and his little money in the little clip or whatever. I
Right.
knew my dad handled business. Like I never. Like he never showed that, even if he was processing that and dealing with that, which I'm sure he was, right?
Right.
But
But you're
I
not
feel
you're not allowed to show it or speak on it.
yeah, I guess so. Like maybe he should have been able to express
Mm.
that. But I guess he didn't want to express that to his children because
Right.
it's like we looking at him like, well, what you supposed to do? Like
Right.
you
Right.
do that. So
Right.
when I feel like when I'm like if I'm dating someone or I'm in a relationship with someone and a man and we're like in a partnership, not like okay, we're dating. Of course, it has to be in the context of a partnership. Okay, we're together, we're living together, whatever, we're close to marriage or engaged or whatever, and you as a man drop the ball when it comes to certain
What does that mean?
responsibilities. Okay, lacking responsibility, like example, um financial responsibilities, right? um or even if it's not even financial, just agreements
Does the does the
made.
reason does the reason why matter?
um I think the reason why it matters, like example, if a man lacks some financial responsibility, then I'm paying attention to the why, right?
Mm.
Maybe he's in job transition.
Right.
Maybe something happened. Like we all deal with life stuff, right?
Right.
So here it is. That's where that grace kick in, where it's like, okay, we're in a partnership. Let's figure this out. Cause like I'm a woman where I'm solutions driven. I'm like, okay, cool. This is where we are. This is not where we're gonna stay, because now I'm thinking of like, okay, what can we do to like get us out of, you know what I mean, this type of situation.
So
But it's
do you know how that's viewed by as a man?
controlling.
not
Uh,
not controlling is like a man can view these things as like say if you're in a relationship and this is your partner, a
mhm.
man views how he's being viewed. He sees it like if I don't pay for everything, I'm not a man, because that's how she views me. She views me as like not being the man. And if she's paying
Oh,
and if she's paying for everything, now she can kick me out at any moment and she still views me like not a man. So it's like if you don't take care of everything, you're viewed
mhm.
as like you're not the man.
Yeah, but see, I have a different take on that.
Go ahead.
Like, I get that part because I do know some men that have that mindset and do feel that way. And sometimes, I'm not saying all, but sometimes men that feel that way is because they know that they could be bringing more to the table. And I feel like they kind of rely on a woman who they know is going to do what she got to do, right?
Right.
So it's that's one thing, right? That could even be isolated, like situations where like it's almost like you just taking advantage at this
Right.
point. You know what I mean?
Right.
But for me, I feel like you could be honest and say, look, this is where I'm at. Like,
That's perfect. That's perfect. Let's stay right there. He said
exactly.
he says this is where he is,
Yes.
and it's a little bit less than you. So
Hmm.
I just don't got it. So now most women, I'm not saying you, but most women gonna look at him the type of way.
If yeah, I can see that too. And I'm not saying I haven't been there, you know what I mean? When it's a consistency. See what I mean? See, life happens to all of us. Like,
But what does the consistency matter? If you make more than him, you make more than him. That's just what it is.
well, yeah, no, that's true. And that's cool, right? Because you got to compensate in other areas. But I'm just saying the consistency of more so you messed up. You ain't
Right.
got it. You always got a story. You always got some broken shit going on. You always feel like, hey, I ain't got this, mom. Sure. Because honestly, when a man consistently lacks certain things when it comes to that, how is
Right.
that woman going to rely on that man on the agreement that he made? You know what I mean? Again, this is a partnership. So we're both coming to the table with what we got, right? So if you constantly hear, oh, well, I ain't got it, oh, this month, this, you got to kind of assess that. Like, okay, so is it that you're not earning, like your earning potential is not, like you're not, that's not elevated,
Right.
or somewhere down the line you lacking some type of like lack of responsibility, like you're not good with your money, like,
Right.
or like that becomes a problem when the woman has to constantly overcompensate. All right, well, now
But do
I
you see?
gotta,
But do you see the tradition in that?
the tradition and
Do you see it like if the man was in that position, he's never going to
Mhm.
treat that girl that way.
Yeah, I get that.
It's never going to happen.
I get that. I get that. So you saying like if a woman is in the position that a man is in where maybe she makes less or she's not
Right.
working or whatever, the man is not going to be like looking at her like, well, damn, like
Right.
why you don't got it?
Right.
Yeah, that's true. But I think it's
Not
because,
never.
all right, it's deep, but I feel like it's because women expect men to be take that lead role and to be head of household, right? So I think for me, that's where the expectation come in at.
So
But
you
I'm
don't think
not
a man could
saying
be?
that. Hmm.
You don't think a man could be head of household if he's not the breadwinner?
That's deep. That's deep. No, I'm not saying that. But you got to take the lead. You got to take the lead in something. Again, I feel like it does go back to what is this agreement? Like
Right.
it's about your your agreements. You know what I mean? Like I don't know many, but I do know of some men who, not saying they don't work, but they're like, okay, the woman makes more money,
Right. They could
but
be stay-at-home dads. They could be
they could be
part-time
staying,
workers. Whatever it may be.
exactly, but they compensate in other areas where there's a balance. I know we talked about balance earlier, where there's like a balance. And I think that's where, like in a partnership, where you have to fill in those gaps when it comes to each other, because we all bring something different to the table and you have
Mm.
to be open to it. And if that's the agreement, but within that agreement, be consistent. Like, don't be inconsiderate. Like, oh, because I know she got it or I know he got it, then I'm just gonna lack and I'm just not gonna do anything. I feel like that's what happens sometimes where people get
I
too
agree.
comfortable because somebody is like, you can rely on that person to like, oh, they straight, they got it. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna be homeless because they working, they doing what they gotta do. But it's like that's a lot of pressure too. And I think we just have to be consistent in that regard. And
So you mean she gets to see what it looks like to be a man?
uh,
So you mean she gets to see what it looks like to be a man? It's a
oh
lot of
my God.
pressure, right? It's a lot of pressure, right?
It is a lot of pressure. It is a lot of pressure. But again, it goes to the agreements. I'm sorry, because some women require a man, and this is something that is not in my question, but
Go
some
ahead.
women require like a man to like take care of everything
Right.
financially.
Right.
And her money is her money. And it's like, okay, as a man, you wanted me or you married
Right.
to me, you got to take care of everything. And then some women are like, you know what, I'm willing to, contribute to whatever the case may be. Like, how do you feel about that? I mean, how do you feel about, you know,
I
a
think that's
man taking
I
care
think
of
that
everything?
I think that's unjust, but I think that's like a choice. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
some men want that role and responsibility, and I think
Right.
that those two people should match up. The problem is that people are not matching up with the with the right
They're not
fit.
matching up.
They're not matching up.
They're
Like
not matching up.
right,
They're not aligned. And that's
right,
so true. And they forced that when that should have been a conversation.
right.
And how early on in the
Oh,
relationship
that
do you
should
have
be
that
first day.
conversation?
That should be first day.
Really?
Yeah, this
So
is
in the talking phase, you're just gonna be talking about financial responsibilities and like
yes
who would
because
do what.
because we're not 20 years old anymore. So
Okay.
when you 20, yeah, you could. That don't really matter. We just getting to know each other. We don't know what this is going to be. But
Exactly.
when you get older, that should be
Mm-hmm.
a first like that should be a part of your vetting phase because
Yeah.
you don't got time to be playing around. So you want to talk to people that you're aligned with. And a lot of
That's
times people go on dates and they meet people and they start liking them. Now once you start liking somebody, it's hard
mm-hmm.
to detach because you already like them. But
Exactly.
you haven't even found out if you're aligned. So liking
Mm.
somebody that you're not aligned with is a dangerous place.
Man, I could unpack that. I could unpack that because that is so true. And that takes time to even, not even time because you say the first thing, finding those things. But I feel like sometimes too many things happen before that conversation is
Right.
had.
Right.
And then that's when you find out that you're not in alignment, like sex or whatever.
Right.
That stuff is premature. And then you find out I don't even like this person. You find
That's
out
a fact.
we don't even have the same goals. We on a line, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then, like you said, it's hard to detach. Then you
You know
start
that
forcing a relationship
that's a
at
fact.
this point.
You know that people start having sex before they have the conversation of if you want kids or not.
Yes.
That's why I say first day. That's why I say first day.
Oh my God. First day, you got to be ready.
Yeah, you
That
gotta be ready. I need to know if you want to have more kids or not because I already
because
had,
you
my
don't
kids are
have time
grown.
to waste.
Yeah, yeah, my kids are grown. Like, what are we doing?
Right. Exactly. Dang.
First day.
Mm-mm-mm.
What we doing? Go ahead. What's the next question?
All right. So
Oh,
we going to
hold
set.
on. I wanted to say this last point
Oh, what's up?
on that whole financial responsibility thing. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like even if we have a partnership and we have established, who's going to do what or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
it's never viewed like a man never views a woman and be like, if you don't do your part, you're not a woman. I think that needs to be abolished. Like
Uh,
who do certain people think that they are that they could judge a person's manhood or womanhood? Who are you?
mm, I see that. I see that a lot. I do.
And it's
And
based off it's my
mm-hmm.
bad, but it's based off those traditions and those conditioning. But
Mm-hmm.
those traditions and conditions also didn't work either.
Yeah.
So why are we living off that?
Yeah. I do see what you're saying, where I haven't been seeing that happen from a man to a woman, where she feels devalued because of certain things there. But you do have some men, it's rare from, well, I wouldn't call it rare, but I haven't really heard about it. But it's like where women feel devalued if she can't have children or whatever,
Right.
and then the man feels kind of like, bitter in a relationship or resentful. But keeping the main thing like, well, because you're not working or because you're not making a certain amount of money, then I'm just going to devalue and say that, okay, well, you're not a woman,
mm,
if you don't do X, Y, and Z. I don't hear it as much as I do on the opposite side with women with men. So we have to fix that.
we gotta do
We
something.
do. We do have to fix that because that is imbalance. Okay.
What's the next question?
All right, so we're going to go to relationships, relationship patterns, and healing gaps. Okay,
Okay.
so why does it seem that men only begin their healing journey after they lost a good woman? Now, it seems like, now we're going back to the healing part of it, right? It seems like for men, I know we talked about financial and all of those things, but let's not even talk therapy. Remember, we talked on the last call how self healing is key.
Imperative.
Some men don't even want to take the time to self heal. They don't want to
Right.
take the time for themselves. And then it always seemed like they want to get their shit together after they lost a good woman. Then it's like, all right, well, you know what? I realize this. Sometimes it's cap, sometimes it's game. I realize this, so now I'm gonna go get myself together and all this stuff. Like, why does it take you packing a stuff or you moving out, all this extreme, what I mean? That's extreme. Why does it take all of that just for them to come to themselves?
How does the song go? I don't believe you. You need more people. Because they don't believe it.
Oh my god.
They don't believe it. They don't
What?
believe that. Like they don't believe that you're going to walk away.
Mm, really? Deep
Yeah.
down, the arrogance of it all
Right.
is that you ain't leaving.
Right.
Wow. And it's because of what we tolerate.
Right.
Mm, that's deep.
And sometimes it takes for you to lose something to you to feel what it means to you because
Hmm.
you don't always appreciate things that you have
Wow. Yep.
because you have it. But if you
Hmm.
lost it, then you would appreciate it.
Sometimes you
And
gotta teach people a lesson.
and that also goes to your upbringing. Like a lot of people
Hmm.
weren't taught appreciation growing up, and that's not talked about. Like a lot of people don't even know where they don't say thank you. Like
Yep. They
they're not
don't.
appreciative.
Oh, get down.
They're not appreciative. So that goes all the way back to how they were raised when it
Hmm.
comes to appreciation. So you can't expect somebody to appreciate something when they've never
No.
appreciated anything.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. That's something. That's something. And it could be too that they don't value themselves, or they don't
That's a fact.
value or they don't value their time, or they
Right.
don't value their commitments. So then it's like, well, oh well, you know what I'm saying? Or it could go back to, like you said, tradition, or maybe the way they were raised, maybe their upbringing, where it's like they haven't seen that example of like, this is what works. You know what I mean? This is how you fix problems. This is how you communicate. Some haven't been shown that. Some don't have the tools. Some don't know.
That's
And
a fact.
then you just go on like, oh well, like it's like this, oh well, it is what it is. And meanwhile, you lost a good thing.
And
And then you realize that, and then it's like, then you try to circle back. I don't get that.
that part of even that you knowing that you lost a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
it like I was saying, sometimes it's hard to see it until you lose it, and then you got to deal with somebody else to realize what you had.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. The grass ain't greener on the other side. Sometimes it's not.
So what happens when the grass is greener?
Then you just water it. Then you better water it. You better water it. You better you better keep it watered. That's the thing. I'm just saying, because it's true. If you feel like the grass is greener on the other side, now it's your due diligence to maintain that
Right.
grass or whatever we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Yep, yep. Wow.
Because also sometimes the person is overvaluing themselves. So you might be acting like you're not replaceable when in that person's
Ooh.
eyes, you come a dime a dozen. I'm
Nah,
just saying.
nah.
I'm just saying.
No, it ain't no dime a dozen. Ain't nobody no dime. Ain't no dime a dozen. No, you
I'm
a one
just
of
saying.
one. You should feel like you're one of one. I mean, all right, that is arrogancy. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
That is arrogancy though. Like, cause you be popping your stuff sometimes. Like, you know what? I already know. Like, because I feel like you know what you bring to the table, even though I know other people bring stuff to the table, but I do feel like that can be like arrogance and ego. So I get that. We kind of need to humble ourselves, right?
That's a fact. On both sides. On both
On
sides.
both
Need to do on
sides.
both sides.
But here's the tricky thing about being humble, I feel, and this is something that I used to pray about because I feel like I'm humble and I know I have an ego too, but
Right.
I'm really like humble, honestly, and I really do have a lot of grace. But I feel like what happens when you so humble that you're afraid you're gonna be taken advantage of because you being humble? Like, does that
Wow.
require being taken advantage of because you humble?
It could, because there's, like you said, there's levels to it. So it's like
Exactly.
you can't. People always say you should be humble, and people tell me that all the time. Like, you need to humble yourself. You should be more humble, and I'm sorry. Like like I know who I am, and I know like my capabilities, and I'm just
Right.
comfortable in my skin. So it's like I'm not going to humble myself to make you feel more comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you
So
might view me as, everybody else, but I might not view myself as that.
right.
So
Exactly.
there's a level in it, and I mean, it's just a part of life. Like, people act like anything that happens to them should never
Mm-hmm.
have happened to them, and these things don't happen
Mm-hmm.
in life. That's a part of life. Like, when we talk about love and relationships and things of that nature, that
Mm-hmm.
it's a risk in love, and yes,
It
you can get hurt.
is. It is. And you know what? All right. So with that said, do you believe, because I hear both sides, do you believe that love hurts or do you believe that love don't hurt?
I believe that if it doesn't hurt, then it wasn't love.
Yeah. Because I believe that love hurts
Right,
because it's a lot. You know what I mean?
right.
It's a lot of variables. There's a lot of layers to love and loving somebody and all the sacrifices and the things that you've gone through, the ups and downs. Like, yeah, some things can hurt. But
Right.
I hear people say, even quotes I read, oh, love don't hurt.
That's a
Maybe
lie.
it shouldn't hurt in a sense
Yeah.
of like you're leaving someone wounded,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like intentionally, or like this like pattern of like, okay, this brokenness where like you're hurt about something. I feel
I
like
mean, I don't think
that's different.
yeah, it shouldn't hurt in the aspects of cheating or abuse and things of that nature. It shouldn't hurt in that,
Right.
but it's going to hurt in a matter of that person may disappoint you in an area,
Exactly.
and that's just a part of people being people are imperfect. That's a part of people being people. So sometimes somebody may disappoint you, and that don't mean that it was a cheating thing or an abusive thing. That just mean that they disappointed you, and that hurt you.
Mm.
And
And
they want to skip that part and think that we live in this delusional world where everything is fucking hunky dory, and that's not the real world.
right, exactly. But do you think that that can be an issue where we put too much of our hopes and expectations of other people when at the
That's
end
a
of the
fact.
day, as you said, we're human and
Right.
we're going to make mistakes.
That's a fact.
Like,
Yeah.
so do you feel like it's too much pressure in a relationship to live up to this expectation when you know, like let's be real, like we have flaws. You know what I mean?
I definitely think that there's too much expectations on people and relationships and allowing grace and allowing understanding. Like the main part of being with another person is understanding that person. And
Mm-hmm.
people don't want to understand that person. They want that person to be who they want that person to be instead of understanding that person.
So I don't know if we mentioned this before, but now it brings me to, and these are not even questions on my thing. This brings me to this question. Do you, this is a two part. Do
Okay.
you love a person based on how you feel they should be loved, or based on, all right, let me rephrase that. Do you love someone based on the way you know how to love someone, or do you love someone based on the way they need to be loved? Because
Nah, I love this question.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
I love this question because it speaks to love languages, and
Okay, yeah.
people don't understand their partner's love language.
Mhm.
They love, most people love their partner how they want to be loved instead of having a conversation with their partner or just observing and watching their partner to see what their partner, how their partner wants to receive love. So it's like if I say my love language is physical touch, but your love language is words of affirmation, you constantly giving me words of affirmation. I don't give a fuck about words of affirmation.
Right. Yep.
So you think that you're showing me or giving me love, and yeah, you are
Mhm.
to a degree, but that's not my love
Right.
language.
Right. So then I'm about to call. So then that creates a lot of frustration and disappointment. Or, women might feel like, oh, here goes, he's rejecting me. But it's not that.
Right.
You're just not being mindful
Mm,
or attentive to what he needs. You're trying to give him what makes you feel good.
right.
I think that happens a lot.
It happens every day because
It happens a lot.
people don't choose to understand that person. They choose to want want to cater to that person how they want to be catered to, how they want to be catered to.
Right. Which also brings me to like the heck. Because that also brings me to like, so why are you really in a relationship? Because sometimes people are in a relationship based on how they want to feel or based on their own lack, but they're not in a relationship to offer the love that they have or to get to know someone. It's almost like some people are in a relationship because they're just being selfish. Like really when,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like they're um I don't know,
Do
they
you,
put
do
in
you
a
know
lot
what
of
do you know what you're speaking to right now?
what?
You're speaking to understanding. So this is like
Mhm.
people wanting to be in a
Yeah,
relationship because they want to be in a relationship. It's not for love.
right. Exactly.
So you're here because you want to be in a relationship. You're not here because you love that person.
You just want to be in a
Right.
relationship.
You don't want to be in the house by yourself. You want to have somebody there. You want a companion. That's what I call it. You want a companion. You don't
You
want to
want a
love her.
companion.
Right.
It's levels to it. And we need
Right.
to identify that. We need to
Right.
identify that and be specific about that. Like, no, this is not a relationship. This is not even
Mm,
a partnership because I'm
right.
not doing this and that with you.
Right.
We're companions. And if
Right.
that's the case and y'all agree, that's okay. Because sometimes you need a phone call.
Right.
Sometimes you're like, you know what, let's go out for coffee. Sometimes you just need somebody to sit on the sofa and talk to you, right?
Right.
That's companionship. But
Right.
sometimes people call that a relationship
And
and it's
it's not.
not.
And
And
it's not.
it's not. Now, Rocco, look at my puppy. Like he's trying so hard to get my love that it's like, oh my god. All right, Rocco, just wait a minute. Oh my god,
Right.
that is so crazy.
They want a
Mm,
companion.
it's companionship. Mm. All right, where we at with this?
You got any more questions?
All right,
Because
yeah, I
I
do.
got
I
some
got a
things.
main one. I got a
Okay.
main one. So, all right. So, what advice would you give women who's tired of waiting on a man to get their shit together? Like, what advice would you give us? Like, if you've already given grace and
Right.
grace ran out, if you've already worked, in this partnership relationship, you giving your all, you giving
if you feel
time.
like if you feel like you're at the point that you're tired of waiting on a man to get their shit together, whether
Mm-hmm.
you're still with that man or not,
Mm-hmm.
you're in the wrong place. I feel like if that's where you are, you need to go seek
Mm-hmm.
somebody that got their shit together.
Right.
Go get somebody that
So
got their
that's
shit
just
together.
it.
You ain't gotta wait for that nigga to get his shit together. Go find somebody that got their shit together already.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. And that's why I
Yeah.
speak to people knowing what they want, because often people say they want something and choose the exact opposite of what they said they wanted.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Very much so.
And
That
also
is.
you gotta understand what that means of a person that got their shit together. That person that has their shit together may not have no time for you. Are you cool with that?
That is so true. I was talking to somebody about this not too long ago, and that is very true. Like, when a man has their stuff together, they might lack time. You know what I
Right,
mean? They doing other things.
right,
And then now you have to kind of see how you can fit into that. You know what I
right,
mean? And then that might become a challenge.
right.
So it's like pros and cons to that. Like,
Right.
mm,
That's what I'm saying. You gotta know what you want, and you gotta know what that looks
right.
like, and you gotta
That
know
is.
what that you gotta know what that looks like, and you gotta know what's gonna be expected of you also in that.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
a woman can say, "I want a man who's a millionaire." All right,
Exactly.
what you think is gonna be expected of you?
Yep. Yep. You might have lonely nights. You might have
Right,
lonely days. You traveling. You're on
right,
business calls, meetings, whatever the case may be, and how you fit in that.
right.
So we got to be very authentic about what we desire of someone based on who we are.
That's a fact.
Really, and not just like, not saying, okay, if you're not a millionaire you can't attract a millionaire, but I think it goes with mindset, belief,
Yeah,
lifestyle,
you can
um
attract a millionaire. You just gotta know what
activities. you
comes with it.
gotta you gotta be about your business too. You gotta be clear on who you
Right,
are
right,
and what you deserve, your worth, what you want. And stop and if you know this about yourself, you have to stop settling for lower than your expectations.
right.
And I think that's when we have that struggle love that um that's unhealthy, that's toxic, that could be toxic.
That's a
No,
fact.
seriously, because two people, like, you can meet somebody and it's something about them that you tolerate or that you deal with, but deep down that's not your person. But you
Right,
just try to make it work. And then when the relationship break down, all these things come up. Oh, well, you not this. Well, you were
right,
never this. And then you
right.
know what I mean? And it's like, well, that
You
may be
chose that.
true,
You
but
chose that.
you chose that
Hmm.
and you dealt with that and you tolerated that and that became your problem.
That's a fact.
So we gotta mm,
There's a lot of work to be done.
it's a lot
People
of work.
lazy.
And the thing about it is, this is why I really think that we're not in relationships anymore, because we don't want to do this work. We don't want, some of us don't want to do the individual work that it takes to heal. And then when it comes to a relationship, people don't want to work.
That's a fact.
They just want to have fun. Like, and not saying you come into a relationship where you got to work out all these problems, but it's about building. And if you building something, it's going to take time, effort, consistency. You know what I mean? Or not even consistent, constant. You just gotta have it. You just gotta keep at it. And some people are just not ready for that. They don't want the responsibility. They feel like it's too much work.
That's a fact.
And that's why they rather either have a companion or a situationship.
That's a fact. Do you know that I've I've been partaking in conversations and have seen and heard conversations where people say, if you're getting into a relationship or a marriage for love, that's stupid. Why are you doing that?
What? Like you could grow to love somebody like after the fact.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know, yeah, I do hear people say that. Like, all right, first time I'm married for love, second time,
Right.
is for security or whatever the case may be. But I think it's the type of woman that that person is, or vice versa. Like maybe
Right.
men do that too.
Right.
But I gotta be, I could never, like me. I have to really like you. Like I gotta really be
Exactly.
attracted to you. I have to really vibe with you. Like we gotta really connect. Like, cause at the end of the day, cause I've been with a successful man that
Hmm.
made a lot and had all the things, and he was a dirtbag, a
Right.
serial cheater. You know what I mean? Sociopath, the whole nine. You know what I'm saying? So it's like for me, it's like that don't really matter. You know what I'm saying? For
Facts.
me.
Right.
Um, and I know some women, I'm not knocking it, but some women they can just look past certain things because they like I'm being taken care of at the end of the
Right.
day. But to me, connection matters. And I just couldn't trade somebody's money or what they can do for me, and I don't even like you like that.
That's a fact.
Like to me, I would grieve knowing I don't even like you like that. And now I gotta play along to get my bills paid. Like
Right.
I can't put myself in that situation. Nah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So mm-mm.
I don't want to put myself in a situation where we're alone in the room and you're on that side and I'm on this side and we're both on our phones.
Mm, exactly. That's a problem.
does that feel like, or does that sound like love to these people? Like, I don't be understanding
I
it.
know. It sounds like an arrangement.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. And I feel like when that time comes and that happens, it's wrapping up. You know what I mean? Unless you can resolve it, it's like, you know what? No, this is not my person. You just know.
Mhm. That's a fact.
Mm, okay. Okay.
You got more questions?
All right. I got one last question.
All right, go
And
ahead.
this is a good one. All right. I was saving the best for last. I probably got more, but I'm going to save the best for last. All right. Why does it seem like women can go on this, like, I call it a sacred journey of like,
Oh man,
um,
the journeys. Go ahead.
shut up. The journeys, yeah, I know. But listen, journeys don't have to be long. It's your journey. It could be a season, whatever, however you want to label it. But why does it seem like women could go on these journeys, so you say, or these seasons of like singleness, abstinence, all of that? Um, and it seems that men can't commit to the same things. Like I was on and been on. I mean, never mind. I don't want to go too deep, but I will say, no, seriously, I've been on, and this is recent. I've been on 5 years abstinence
Mhm,
journey. I mean, that was then from
mhm,
2020 to 2025. I kid you not. Okay. But that's not my status now. But I'm still sick. Whatever. Now I'm
mhm,
making a mess because my wine is getting to me. Long story short, I did wait 5 years. You know what I mean? But I was in my season of singleness and
right.
enjoying my single life and healing. And then I tried to circle back in the relationship that I was in, and that did not work out. You know what I mean?
I'm glad that you said. I'm glad that we got to that part. That it still didn't work out.
It's
so
still,
we
yeah,
so we went through all of these journeys, and it still
and it still didn't work
didn't
out.
work
But
out.
I will say though, the journey wasn't for that person.
Right.
It was for me. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was for me to heal, some of the relationship traumas that I've had in the past, and just to get to know myself and date myself and be with myself. and rebuild myself. So that was for the purpose that I intended it to be, and just to be more clear about what I really wanted moving forward. You know what I'm saying? And then trying the relationship again, thinking that okay, this person grew, I grew, let's see how we come back, and it still wasn't right after 10 years or so apart. You know what I mean? And it was like, wow, like you said, I'm back to square one
Right.
with it. But I will say this for my, you know, making my point that my journey was not about another man, it was about myself. You know what I mean? But why does it seem like men can't go on this sacred journey of like, I'm going to sit with myself, I'm going to heal, I'm going to, stop having sex, I'm going to get myself together. You know
Why
what
do
I
you say they
mean?
can't go on it though?
Some men, I mean, I'm just
I
saying,
don't
it seems like
I don't
some
think
men.
I don't think men can't go on these journeys. I think that they choose not to go on those journeys.
Do they feel like, do you all feel like it's unnecessary to go, like,
Right.
so it's unnecessary to go on these types of journeys?
I believe so. I believe it's the reason why you're going on that journey. So I'll break it down like this.
Mm-hmm.
I know women that will go on these journeys because they don't know how to regulate or control themselves if they start having sex with somebody. So
Uh-huh.
then they'll go on a abstinence or a celibacy journey, but you're not really, handling the issue. You're just not having sex. Soon as you
Mm-hmm.
have sex with another guy, you're gonna be right back doing the same shit. So that's why I'll be like, these journeys again, like, what are we doing with the journey? Because you're not accomplishing anything.
Oh my God. Nope. It's true. Like that is so true. Now I'm gonna give you a little a true a little tidbit. Now, I've been on these journeys many times before, right? Like, okay, I'm gonna just like have my sacred time to myself, get myself together. Like it's me and God, like we locked in, you know what I'm saying? And I think it does serve a purpose. But it seems like, you might fall short, or you just feel like that. I'm back in a situation where I spent sacred time to heal from. Now I had something in my eye. Now I've been married before, and oh my God, now I have something in my eye. I've been married before, and I felt like, to be honest, I was on that journey before, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought that marriage somehow was going to
Fix it.
fix it, right? So I felt like I hid in the marriage, even though it was a short-term marriage, but I kind of hid in the marriage, like, okay, well now, I don't have this problem, I don't have that problem. But that wasn't like, the marriage shouldn't have been a fixer upper for
Right.
that issue. I should have just been able to deal with myself. Or if I was on this journey of like not wanting to have sex, or like not, I shouldn't have got married. Like, not that that was my sole purpose of getting married, but I think a lot of people do that too. Like, all right, well, I'm gonna fix this, like, so that way I'm not living in sin or whatever. I'm gonna just go ahead and get married, and then the marriage don't work out anyway. You know what I mean? And then you back to like, oh, I'm back dating, or I'm back, you know, in this predicament. So that's what I did, which obviously backfired on me. But I just thought that that was like my safe space. Like, okay, well, in order to fix this within myself, right? I'm just gonna go ahead and get married, so that way I ain't gotta deal with that. And that was not
That's what I'm saying. That's what
that was
and
not the case.
and that's what I'm saying. And it speaks to what I talk about when I talk about healing. So
Hmm.
there's a difference between real life work and healing, and
Yes.
avoidance and distractions and all of these things. That
Hmm.
you're doing different things, but you're not healing. You're just
Exactly.
you're just putting other things in place. It's like, even like, and I don't even know if I can say this, but I'm gonna say it. When people go on the church journey,
Yeah.
oh
I
man,
know. I know. I know. Oh my
oh,
God.
oh man, the church journey is the one, because you go to church because you feel like, I'm picking the wrong guys. I need to put God at the forefront of my life, which you should, but you have to
Yes.
do that. You have to do that with the correct mindset. So
Mm.
I'm gonna put God at the forefront.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be more patient. And all
Mm.
of this time, there's still work to be done on yourself that you're not doing. Yes, you're getting closer to God, and yes, you're getting, going to church and getting into the Bible and doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing, but you're still not fixing the issue.
And you didn't put your church in the space where you should have been doing the work
Right,
for yourself,
right,
and that becomes your focal point, like,
right,
and it's a facade, right?
right,
Because then it's like, well, I'm going to church and this is, this is what this is what I'm doing, and it looks like healing, or it looks
right,
like transformation. Just like, to the next point, I feel like sometimes you can look like you're healed because you're by yourself,
right.
but it's when you get in a relationship where stuff start coming up for you,
That's a
and then you
fact.
realize, well, damn, I was never healed in this area. Like this, I just didn't have nobody to argue with, or I
That's
just
a
didn't have
fact.
nothing, nobody to be a mirror of who I am or what I need to confront. You know what I mean? So a lot of women, I know a lot of women, especially women that I've coached, and even with myself, I had to really challenge myself. Like, wow, am I really healed in these areas, or am I just by myself?
Right,
And no one has been able to challenge that about it.
right,
So it's like it's dormant. Like, well, all right, I'm cool. I'm by myself. No, it's
right.
just because you're by yourself.
That's a fact.
You're gonna find out when you're in your next
That's a
relationship if you
fact.
heal, because you're gonna be dealing with some things, and then you're gonna constantly be triggered because you were never healed. You never did the work.
And also, they get lost and confused. A lot of the guys that go to church be bad guys too.
Yeah,
Like,
very
you
much
think you went
so.
to the church and went to the better nice guy that's going to treat you better, and he's treating you the same way.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. So a lot of that is facade, a facade.
That's a
You know what I
fact.
mean? It's manipulation.
That's a fact. It's Jedi mind tricks, and men don't pull Jedi mind tricks on themselves. And so it's like a woman could be
Mm,
like, and a woman could be like, I don't want to add any more bodies, and I want to make sure the next guy that I pick is my husband and X, Y, and Z.
right.
A guy is just not going to choose that, because why do I want to be celibate or abstinence? Like, a man don't wake up and be like, yo, I want to be abstinent, like I want to be celibate, or go on my abstinence journey. I don't think that you know goes
Men
into a
don't think
man's
like
brain,
that.
right?
Women think like that because, like you said, some women get to a place of like, oh, I've had so many different situationships, relationships, like my brokenness, like I'm just going to God, I'm like turning from men, blah blah blah. Like I'm gonna give, not turning from men like that, but I'm gonna
Right,
give men a break or
right,
whatever. And then we go on these journeys because it's about the situation that they came out of, versus like,
right,
okay, this is my choice and this is what I want to do. And I think if you're doing it for the right reasons, then it can be healing to you. But if
right,
you're doing it because you're like, well, it's almost like you using God as like a default. Like, well,
right,
I'm gonna just come to you now because um they ain't treating me right out here, God.
right,
Like they doing me dirty out here. So like, hey, I'm coming to you now.
right.
And I know we going into a whole nother thing, but that can be like that could be borderline dangerous,
That's a
because
fact.
because I feel like
It's almost
it's
blasphemous.
an imposter syndrome. It's like
Yes.
imposter syndrome, sort of. You know what I mean? Because now you're like, now you're being something else instead of focusing on yourself. Like, okay,
Right.
now I'm in this space and I'm doing this thing, but deep down inside you didn't deal with all these other things
That's a
that
fact.
has been an issue showing up for you in your relationships. And now it's like, all right, well, it's just me and God now. All right, cool, but I hope you're doing it for real, because your next relationship going to show you whether you for real or not. That's the
That's a
thing.
fact.
Like, you
That's a fact.
can't hide from
You can't
yourself.
hide. You can't hide from
You
yourself.
can't hide. No,
I say that all the time. You can't hide from yourself. It's
no.
like, you know what they use the most. I don't want I don't want to keep. I don't want these energies on me. I don't want these energies on me. I don't want to keep talking to these guys and they're bringing their energies and putting their energies on me. But it's your energy. That's the
Mhm.
problem. It ain't the guys and their energies. It's your energy that you need to correct. You got to correct your energy first.
Yeah, sometimes it's that way, but then you can sometimes feel the other guy's energies too. Because if I feel like this, if I'm working on clearing my energy because I have some baggage or, some traumas, and then you're not clearing your energy, I could be in my space where I'm like, okay, I dealt with that. I'm cool. And then you haven't dealt with that because you don't have that mindset or that perspective. You know what I
Right,
mean?
but
You might not
it's
even be spiritually like
it's still it still folds
aware.
back. Yeah, it still folds back to your energy because you're choosing that person.
So it's at the end of the day, it's starting in with you.
Right.
Period. Like, that's true. Mm, that's good.
You
That's
got you
good.
got you got to be mindful of the choices that you make and the blame that you're shifting because a lot of people like to shift blame and deflect, and every
Right.
time they're in a situation it's always the other person's fault.
So how do we heal this? Like, how do we get to, with everything that we discussed today,
Right.
how do we get to this unified place of being able to come together, communicate, be authentic
Hmm.
and truthful about where we are? Like, how do we get to this place where we can build something instead of having these broken relationships or these
Right.
misleadings? Because I feel like what's happening now, I don't know if it's our
It's misaligned.
culture. Hmm.
It's misaligned.
Is misaligned, and it's like, how do we get to this place? Because it feels like sometimes even with dating you can't really get anywhere. It just feels like, I don't know, it's like a hit or miss type of thing where it's like
Right.
you might be at a good pace and then something happens and then it's like, wow, what happened to that? It just seems like, how do we get to that place where we can actually build something? What do you think?
We get to that place by understanding oneself and understanding like your personal qualities and things of that nature. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like I can even say, and I bet you could probably agree that
Right.
you've chosen somebody that's not your type.
Yes, and tolerated someone that you knew what it wasn't going to fit for you.
So
Yeah.
the way that we get back to a place of togetherness is stop choosing people that's not your type.
Yeah. Deal with the right person
Right.
when you see that they have the capabilities to build
Right.
something.
You
That's
you know
good.
what you know what people say all the time?
What?
I don't want nobody that's, like me. I want somebody the opposite of me so that we can have balance. That's a facade.
You think that's a facade?
I think that's a super facade. I think that's a super
That
facade.
men and women want someone opposite of them.
No, I think choosing somebody opposite of you because you think that's going to bring you balance is a facade
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. Well, you don't think opposites attract?
until they don't.
Mm. Until they don't.
It's
Yeah.
temporary.
Okay.
It's temporary.
Hmm.
We gotta have something where we can fall back on. We gotta have something that we can always be together on. We don't want to. Everything doesn't have to. Oh, shouldn't always be a fight or a button of the heads. We gotta
I see
have
what you're
something.
saying now. Oh yeah, I get that. I get that. So that's not necessary in order for a relationship to work. We don't have to be opposites in order for it to work.
Right,
We can be similar in
right,
the things that we like,
right,
our interests and other things like that, because we have to have some commonality
right.
to be able to have that connection.
Right.
And that's important. That is so important.
Important. Super important.
That is so important. And a lot of couples don't have that. It's like after you get over the attraction of
Right.
someone and y'all in this
I
whole
gotta
like,
be around you all the time. Like,
that's what I'm saying. And it's like, but then you have nothing to come back to where it's like, all right, but this is our thing. Like, hold up,
right.
we got to get back to this. You that got to be a special thing. That is the thing that you got to have.
That's a fact.
It's a
Right.
fact.
That's a fact.
And
And people,
so many don't have that. They can't even find that. They don't even know what that is.
that's a fact. They
And
stop
that's
caring
why,
about it.
mm, that's not your person. That's
That's
just
right.
the
It's not
bottom
your person.
line. That's not your person. Wow. That's
It's a
good.
fact. It's a fact. All right, I got a
Wow.
question for you, and I want you to think deep on this.
Oh God. Okay.
All right, would you rather be married and never have children? This is if you start from scratch. Would you rather be married and never have children, or just have children and you would be single?
Damn. Married and not have children or have children and be single. Oh my gosh. I would say have children and be, that's crazy, ain't it? Because I'm a mom, I
Right.
would say I would have children and risk being single than to be married with no children because I would want a family. But then you don't have a family without the, well, you have a partial family without the husband,
Right.
but you still have your children. So I would choose my children. That's crazy. I never heard that question. I never heard that question before. Like, wait a minute. So yeah, yeah. I would be a mother.
Yeah, I think most women choose to be mothers, just because they have that mother instinct, those bonds.
Yes.
But um, I'm a lover of love. So
Okay.
if that came without having children, and I love my children, but if that came without having children, I would choose, because I think that, to me, that's the highest. Like, people talk about having money and houses and all of that shit. I think
Okay.
I think when you're in love, that's like the highest form of just like happiness for me.
Okay. I see that. Wow, that's deep.
So I would choose that.
And you would choose that. Wow. That's deep. Cause it's like, okay, it's me and you, not against the
Right,
world, but it's like
right,
that's where it's at. Like it's us.
right,
And that's enough.
right.
Wow. Okay. That's good. Wow. I never heard that question like that before. Okay.
All right, I got another one for you. All right.
What's that?
Do you believe that you can have both? Do you believe that you can be the super successful and have the full time family?
I think so. I think that you can have both because I think that um you have to be intentional about prioritizing what's most important to you. Like we always hear like people make time for what they want to make time for, and it's true. I understand like okay, your success or your career might come with some demands, but you have to show up for your family. Like, and we talked about balance earlier, but there has to be some type of priorities set in place. So yes, you can be successful, but I think you can be successful in areas of your life when it comes to your career or your business or your family, children. You just have to really prioritize and put those things in place if that's what you want.
I,
So
I
it's
just I,
possible.
I wouldn't say it's not possible. I just think it's difficult.
Yes, it's difficult, but I think it does come with some challenges, of course, because then you might be lacking
Right.
time or being attentive to certain things, or you might not be able to show up for certain things. But if that's what you both want, then you have to be open to it. And I think sometimes with that, we can't put restrictions on that either. Because let's say, for example, if the husband or, you know, you travel,
Right.
then why is the wife restricted by coming to visit you in your travel if you're doing long-term travel? Or it's like, okay, you're working in in this area, okay, well, let me go off and do something else in this area while you take your meetings and I go do what I have to do. Like, I feel like it doesn't always have to be that, okay, the wife is just home sitting by the clock waiting for her man to get in the house, like, you
But
know.
because you know why that part of it doesn't work, because even if the wife is there with him, he's
Mhm.
busy at work, and then she be like stuck in a hotel room doing nothing. So even if what's she gonna do? Go shopping, whatever it may be. But she's still not with him. So she's there at the place with him, but she's not with him.
But what if she has her own separate set of goals and her own things that she's doing?
That's what I'm saying. So that's fine
And
if
she's
you
just as
both
productive. I
right.
mean, she's not being idle where it's like, oh, well, you're
But
working.
you both being productive doesn't lead to you both loving each other.
Some sacrifices have to be made, don't they?
So we sacrificing this love. We gonna sacrifice this love. I got it. Sacrifice that love.
No, there has to be some type of like, there has to be some type of like, yeah, I mean, you don't want that, but there has to be a sacrifice. I mean, like, because it's like you're going to have to choose something. I mean, it's not saying, okay, well, I got to choose my career over, but there has to be some balance. There has to be some give and take. If that's what you say you want.
Right.
You know what I mean? Otherwise, you could just be by yourself and you could just date.
That's horrible.
I know it is horrible, but it's like if you like if you say you're committed to wanting family and marriage and you're a husband and yes, you're successful, then you have to also think about your own personal values and your own personal vision for yourself, for your life. You know what I mean? Does that wife and those children, is that a part of your personal vision? Because then you'll create the disciplines, to support that. That's just my take on it. So I don't know.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Even when they're a part of your vision, they're a
Hmm.
part of it. They're not in it.
You have to include them then. You know
You
what I mean?
gotta go.
You
You
can't just keep
working.
them.
You
Yeah,
working.
that's the work.
You working. You at work. That's what I'm saying. You at work.
That's
So
the work.
yeah, they're a part of your vision, but they're just there. They're not. You're not with them.
That's the work you have to do. You know what I mean? But that's the work. Instead of making the excuse, well, I don't have time, or my job is demanding, or I have to travel a certain amount of time a month. Well, then how are you going to make that work then? That's something, because that's your choice also, that you're in business for
That's
yourself.
what I'm asking. Would that be enough for you if that was the case, and every 2 weeks he's gone and you got the other 2 weeks? Is that enough?
2 whole weeks straight.
Right.
I think it depends on the type of
I say
relationship.
you personally.
Yeah, for me, I think it would depend. See, everything is customizable. It's no one size fit all
Right.
with me. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, what I might accommodate over here doesn't mean I will accommodate it over there. I
Okay.
think it really, for me, it boils down to the deep love and connection I have with someone. And that comes with like, okay, you my safe space. I trust you. I know you do what you have to do, and I support you. That to me has a different level of like understanding and compassion for it, because hey, that man might be tired too and he might want to be home, you know what I mean? So I think those things play into it, but I think that it becomes a problem when you don't really have that connection, or you feel like this is really not, this don't feel good, you know what I mean? Now you're resenting that person for being successful because they're not spending time with you, or your relationship is not the ideal relationship that you want. So for me, I think it always boils down to like, do we have something special anyway before your success, or a part of, aside from your success or your successes, what do we have together? Like, this is our thing. For, you know what I mean? Like, without that trip or without that money, like, what do we really have? Like, are we really locked in? I think that that's customizable for me. Like, so I can't say that I would have a problem with, my husband going off 2 weeks at a time, and 2 weeks for me or with me. But I think that that's an agreement that I think we would have to, you know what I mean, make. And that be that. You know what I mean? Like, it's true. Like, I would never say, oh no, I can't do 2 weeks, because for me, I like my space too.
Right.
Like, I love, and I love, you know, being together. I love all of that stuff. I really do. But I also I like my time too. And I enjoy myself too. And I don't just sit around not doing anything with my time. So I think that, I don't know, it depends on the person. That might actually work. You just never know.
I mean, I'm not saying it's
Just saying.
impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible. I just think it's like
You have to
it's a
be with the
hard
you have to be
it's a
with your
hard pill.
partner. Yeah. Like, if that okay, so asking that question, or you responded to that same question, like,
Right.
is that something that you think you could do, or do you think that you would feel like you're being neglected because you're not spending time with your wife every single day? Like, she doesn't come home you know what I mean? Or like, you need your wife to work like a 9 to 5 job, where like every day we got to check in, and we got to be here, and we got to do this, and we got to do that, because there's no right or wrong. It's your agreements
Right.
at the end of the
Right.
day.
Right. Um, I guess it can be fulfilling,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't want to do that forever.
Right.
Like that would have to be like we would have to make an agreement. Like, all right, these 5 years we both gonna lock in and do what we gotta do,
Yeah.
and then we gonna get back to each other. But I don't want to do that forever.
Forever. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that forever. But
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got. I don't know if you saw the Gucci movie, but this is the story of Gucci.
Oh no.
So the movie is called House of Gucci. So the story of Gucci is this boy was like a regular dude working for her family and like construction and shit.
Oh
And they
wow.
were and they had like they was super in love. And then soon as he got into Gucci, she hated him.
Oh
and
my
then she,
god.
and then she had him killed.
Oh yeah. Okay, okay. I mean, obviously I knew that, but that, he got killed, but I didn't know the backstory. I didn't
Right.
know how. Dang. What?
Right. So when they were regular, they were super in love, everything was good.
But once
And
he
then
got
yeah,
successful,
once he got successful, she hated him because he was never fucking home and she
and
had him
she
killed.
resented him for
Right.
it. Mm, yeah, that's tough. But again, all those things are like, in your relationship. I think that's something, I don't know. I feel like that's like customizable. Like, it again, I know I keep saying agreements, but it's all based on what you agree upon from the very beginning.
Do
Like
you
you
think people
say,
stick to these agreements?
yeah, because I'm gonna write. I know they got the book, The Four Agreements. They have this book, The Four Agreements. I've never read it, but now I need to come up with I'm gonna write some around the agreements. I kid you not, because it is so important that people skip this whole big step. And like you say, on day one, you got to unpack all of this on day
Unpack
one.
that
You got
shit.
to talk about whether you're gonna be in a 50-50
Listen,
relationship.
I need to know if you got daddy issues.
If
I
you
need
having kids,
Yeah, I need to know if you want more kids. I need to know if you are family oriented. Like
if
what
you gonna get married, if you
I'm
want marriage,
right,
if you successful, will you be traveling 2 weeks out of
right,
the month?
right. I need to know what's going on. I need to see what I got to do. I need
Oh
to know what's
yeah,
going
but
on.
those things are important to identify in the beginning, like because you have to really see if someone or something works for you, and you have to be honest enough instead of being afraid to lose that person or lose that connection. You have to be honest enough to say, you know what, I like you and everything, like, I really want to see where this gonna go, but I don't think I can agree to that
Right.
agreements.
That's a
I don't
fact.
think that this is gonna work for me, and you
Mhm.
have to be honest. And
Have
some
you?
people are not that honest. They just like, you know what, I'm gonna just get what I need to get out of this, or I'm gonna see how far this is gonna go. I'm gonna see if I can deal with this. And meanwhile, you seeing if you can deal with this for a year, 2 years, and so forth and so on, and it's still not working for you.
Have
And
you
then you
seen?
get divorced anyway.
That's a fact. Have you seen contradictions in these agreements?
Oh, I've seen contradictions in the agreements, absolutely. Because some people feel like, you know what, this worked in the beginning, but this no longer work for me now. Or they agree to something, but then they complain about, well, but we don't spend no time together. But you're in it. You're still in it. You didn't separate. You didn't cut it off. But now you're grieving about it. But this is something that you know what I mean? That's true. There's definitely contradictions in that. Mm. That's why it goes back to back to people are not ready for a relationship. See,
That's a fact.
relationships require work. It requires partnership. It requires understanding and commitments and disciplines even. And people are not ready for that. That's too heavy for some people. Some people are too surface level. They like, no, that's too deep for me.
That's a
Some
fact.
people don't even have it in them to become that or to be that. They should be single, or they, you know what I mean? Like, because this is not a game.
It's a
This is
fact.
somebody's life.
That's a
You know
fact.
what I mean? It's your life, but it's somebody else's life
That's a
that
fact.
you misleading. No, that's not cool. Mm-mm.
All
So
right. Um, I don't know if we can get into this, but
not nope.
there's something that I've been pondering, like a theory, and I call it like a clock. So I don't think that women understand that they're on a clock, and it's not a child clock. It's a
Mm,
it's an option clock.
okay.
So once women hit 40 and 45 and
Mm-hmm.
up, most women don't want a younger guy because he don't got his shit together. He can't really
Mm-hmm.
teach you shit, X, Y, and
Right.
Z. So you don't want the younger guy. And
Mm-hmm.
now once you turn 40 and 45 and up, that
Mm-hmm.
older guy, he wants the younger girl.
Right.
So by the time you are 40, 45 and up, you have to realize that your clock is shrinking.
Yeah, clock is ticking. Mm-hmm.
And your option base is shrinking.
Mm.
And I don't think that women understand that.
Some women don't, but it all goes down to a woman's preference too,
Right.
because who's to say a woman
I'm just talking
um
about the masses. I'm speaking to I'm talking about I think the masses don't want the
Russia.
younger guy. They don't want the
Oh
younger guy.
yeah. I mean, some of the younger guys, you're right, it's their mentality and childlike mentality, and
Right.
some of them have not evolved in ways that they seem to be established, whether it's um financial or career or just building
Georgia's
something,
maturity.
just maturity. and that is very true. Um, but I would say a woman shouldn't limit herself at all. I mean, okay, if the young guys are not doing it for her, then be open to dating your age or older. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Right, but
Because you don't know. Hmm?
I'm saying the older guy is gonna want the younger girl now.
I get that. I mean, but is that a fact or is that
No, it's not. No, nothing is all out facts. I'm speaking to the masses of it. So it's just like, and I came to that because I saw this one girl say
hmm.
I'm taking 10 years off, and I said, you
Oh,
think
10
you
years
could?
off the guy?
Yeah, and I said, you think you just got that time to just like throw away? I
What?
said, that's what you think. That's what you think. That you think that in 10 years you're going to be the same person in the same conditions, and that your options are still going to be the same. I think you think that you could just take 10 years off.
That's right. Yeah. Because okay. It just, hey, I know, and we're talking about the majority. The
Right,
majority is, I get what you're saying. Women can't deal with younger men, but then as we get older, the older men or the men our age want somebody younger.
right,
And then where does that leave us,
right,
40, 45 year olds?
right.
I mean, I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't limit us because I feel like the person that's for you is for you. But I feel like, I don't know, it seems like people our age, they might want younger.
Mhm.
Like, like they don't want to date, like men don't want to date women their age. They rather have someone younger. So a
Right.
45-year-old man will want to date someone in their 30s.
More likely, yes.
And why is that?
It could be
Because our
just.
bodies change over
That's what I was
time,
about to
or
say. It could be just physical. It could be
and but
just
what if
physical.
the 45-year-old woman got herself together, got her body together, got her lifestyle together,
I'm
and
about to
then
tell you. I'm about to tell you. It
watch
could be just physical, but that's the surface level part of it.
right.
The deeper part of it is, and this is another thing that I don't think people hear. Um,
Mhm.
the it's like a lot of it's more baggage being packed on top of you as you get older as a woman. So
Mhm.
and it comes from us as men. So us as men
Right.
are putting more baggage on you the older you get. So now you're already coming from maybe daddy issues, mommy issues, sibling issues. You got baby daddy issues. You got mental, physical abuse issues, and all of this
Mm.
shit is just stacking and stacking and stacking. The older you get. So
Mm.
that's why I'm saying the older guy, he's factoring that in. Like she got a lot of shit.
Okay. He got a lot of shit too. And who's to say, women want to deal with him being old and ready to kick the bucket too? I mean, not like that, but it's like that's
No,
being
no, no,
superficial.
no.
That's
I'm
being
saying
superficial in a
no,
way.
no.
Because
I'm not saying that he don't have shit. I'm saying that he don't have the shit that she has because it's not women don't dump on us the way that we dump on y'all. Is what I'm saying.
mm, so he just prefer someone younger who's less experienced because
Not less experience. It's just less trauma.
that they want to either deal with or not.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Tag. Okay.
Yeah, it's just less trauma.
Because I guess, a man to think, okay, this woman, she's young enough, she hasn't been through nothing. But some
Right.
of these young girls been through a whole lot more
That's a fact.
than some of us our age,
That's a fact.
because they might be, going through their own stuff or living a totally different lifestyle. So, I mean, you can't really say.
Well, I just is saying be mindful. That's all. That's all I'm saying is be mindful. Like, the 10 years off shit just threw me off. I was like, that's low. It was one of
Yeah.
those. Look, it was one of those journey things. It's like I'm gonna take a 10 year
Mhm.
journey. And I was like, I don't know if you should do that, but go ahead.
Wow. Wow. Well, she might come back 10 years and she might come back like you never know, people glow up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might take 10 years and you like, all right, I got 10 years, and you never know how somebody gonna come back. And if somebody wants you, they want, like, I just, to me, I don't put age and time limits on certain things. And I get, you know, the statistics and, you know, how things typically or generally work. But for me, I'm not gonna put no limitation on me. Like,
I don't think
I'm not
nobody
taking
should.
no 10 years either,
Yeah.
though. I won't do that. I
The
won't do
10 years
that.
too
I'm
long.
not trying to say, because you never know what can happen in 10 years, whether good or
Fact.
bad. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be sitting here left for me, like, oh, I'm gonna take 10 years because I know when I come back, I'm like, I don't know. Cause honestly, it's a lot of piss in the dating pool now. So like imagine 10 years from now.
Facts.
I don't know how it's gonna be in 10 years from now.
Facts.
You got you gotta make it happen when you need it to happen. Like
Right.
I don't know about that. But for
I,
me, I won't put no limitation on myself. Like if you know, yeah, I'm just not gonna put no limitation on myself. Cause
I,
to me, that would be limited belief. Like for me to say, oh, because I gained a little weight because I'm on my weight loss journey again. But and I can be transparent about that. Like, oh my God, I gained weight and I'm not in my right body right now. I'm not really feeling myself. So that means I'm not going to attract this person because this is how I feel about myself. Or because I'm, 45 or 45, like I say, then I'm just, you know what, these young guys don't want me, or they don't got their stuff together. These old heads, they don't want me because they want the 30-year-olds. Like, I'm not limiting myself because I feel like what's for me is going to be for me.
that's true.
And that's just the bottom line. Like, I ain't got to sweat. I'm not sweating that. I'm not going
That's
to lose
true,
sleep over
but
that part.
you're also a person of abundance.
Right.
Do you think
That's
that's
what I
more or
mean.
less?
I'm not gonna let my limited belief, because you could trick yourself out of your spot. You could literally start believing that, like all those things I just mentioned, like, oh, because or going back to the conversation we had earlier, oh, because of my traumas, then I just won't be able to meet. I won't be able to attract a good man because I've had so much traumas in my life. I'm just saying, not me, but
Right.
not that I haven't had the traumas, but this not my limited belief.
Right.
But I know some women that feel that way because they've been through so much stuff that they feel like, well, this is all I'm able to attract.
Right.
So we gotta deal with that limited belief.
Yeah, I'm speaking to like you come from abundance. And when I say abundance, it's like you kind of know yourself, you know what your characteristics is. Like I'm talking about the people that don't know none of
Right.
that. So if they want to keep playing around like they are
Hmm. They
something
want
else,
right.
that ain't smart.
No, you might miss out on something if you just like,
Right.
if and but then it always goes back to me, like, and I probably playing myself with this, but it's like, well, what's for me is for me. But I just feel like even though we could say what's for you is for you, you do have to show up for yourself.
Right.
It's like sometimes we feel like, well, I'm gonna just go on this hiatus that's like 10 and 15 years, and it's like, are you living or are you
Right.
existing, or like what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you got to still show up. You got to
Right.
show up for yourself. That's just like women who say, well, I can't meet nobody,
Mm.
or God ain't send me nobody. And it's like, first of all, I don't see that somebody's gonna come knock on your door and be like,
Right.
hey, like, unless you meet the mailman or whatever the case may be. But it's like, you got to show up for yourself. You got to be intentional about your entire life. Like, you really do. You got to put yourself out there if that's what you really want. You can't be waiting on, like, oh, well, this man got to find me. You got to
Right.
be found.
Facts.
You got to be found. Like,
he can't find you in the house.
he can't find you in the house.
You
You
can't
gotta go
find you.
outside. Go to
You
the
can't find you
store.
in the house.
Go to the market.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Stop door dashing. You need to go
Fact.
outside. That's
That's a
just
fact.
it. So I don't
Yeah. So
know.
I don't think it don't necessarily boil down to an age thing. It more or less boils down to um like an acquired taste thing. So
Yes. Okay.
are you an acquired taste?
Am I an
No,
acquired
I'm
taste?
not speaking to you personally. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, are you an acquired taste? Like,
Right. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. That is something that that person will have to answer themselves because um I don't know. You might not be palatable, like, and
right,
not you know what I mean? It's like because you could be repelling people. You could repel, people based on not being the acquired taste because of whatever your disposition is or whatever your energy is or whatever stuff you got going on. You could be missing out on opportunities because of stuff that you didn't deal with within yourself. And this could be the reason why you're not meeting anybody. Because I hear some women say, well, I don't ever meet nobody. Nobody want to talk to me. And it's like, it could be several reasons for that. Like, it really can be. But sometimes you could just be repelling, men
right.
because of some stuff that you didn't deal with.
Facts.
And people can sense that and discern that and see your energy and feel your energy. It's your whole aura to me,
That's a
that you
fact.
can't hide. You can't hide it. And I think that that plays a part in the reason why some people are not meeting someone, or it could be other reasons too. But I'm just saying that could be one reason.
I had a conversation with somebody, and I asked them, what are their personal characteristic or qualities, and he was like, "Well, I work and I got money."
Mm. And that
That's
was
all you
it.
got.
That's
That's
okay. And I'm like, mm.
it.
So they work and they got money, and that's all they bring to the table.
All right.
Mm. I mean, me personally, that's not much.
Right.
That's not much.
But you know what's more concerning? That you don't know what personal characteristics and qualities are.
Right.
That's more
Exactly.
concerning to me.
Yes. Right. Exactly. Like, okay, I got a job. Yeah. Mm. And also to speak to that, some people they don't know what they want.
Right.
They really don't know. Some people don't even know what they like
That's a fact.
because they don't spend enough time with themselves because they are so busy, trying to be up under someone that they don't get a chance to learn themselves and really get to know themselves. And that's all a part of the healing journey that you those things are necessary. It's not about abstinence and celibacy and all of that, but really that journey or that season of your life, that is really you getting to know you and all of the things that make you you. You have to be able to accept yourself and love yourself and embrace yourself and enjoy yourself. It took me a long time to get to that place because I always felt like I looked for validation in my relationships. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Because of my childhood traumas. And I always felt like I had to be in a relationship.
Mhm.
And I had to really question that too. Not that my love was insincere, but it's like, am I looking for someone to save me? Am I,
Right.
you know what I mean? And I felt like when we talked about before, like desperation,
Right.
like it that's what that is sometimes.
Right.
So for me, it took me a while because I was thinking, well, my intentions are right. Like, I really do want to be in a relationship. I'm really a relationship girl, or I feel like I'm marriage material. I've been married, you know what I mean? But then at the end of the day, it's like, but why do I want these things?
Right.
What is what validation is that giving me by feeling like I have to be a part of these things, which is still
Right.
not dealing with me? You know what I mean? It took me a long time to get to that place. And now, and this is the tricky thing, because someone actually asked me this most recently because I was on this journey for 5 years where it's like, okay, you've been by yourself for so long. Do you even know how to be in a relationship?
That's a fact.
And I don't.
Mm,
I don't.
mm.
I mean, I feel like it would be an adjustment, you know what I mean, to get to that place of like spending time and even with like coming together in one
I'm about to
household.
say. That's what I was say. Where are you as far as living with somebody after living by yourself for so long? Where are
Yeah,
you in
that's yeah, that can be a little like adjust. It could be an adjustment.
that?
It definitely is because again, I like to enjoy myself, and I like to enjoy my time. And even in a partnership, I feel like I still like to enjoy my little
That's a fact.
moments to myself. And just like when men feel like they have like a man cave or whatever, like I feel like I still have to have my things that I enjoy. And I feel like this is one sure sign for me. If I am in a partnership and we're living under the same household and I'm all of a sudden not doing a lot of the things that I once did before, that was my
Right.
peace or my little enjoyments. And of course, like when you boo loving and you all excited, you might be like, oh, I'm not working out today, or I'm not. I mean, who knows what you giving up because you like, I
Right.
really just want to spend time. But I'm talking about if like if a woman or a man, I guess, I don't know, maybe
Right.
men journal too, but like if a woman like she's used to like, oh, I journal, I spend time like in my quiet time, I like my candles, or
Right.
I put me some sounds on or whatever, or just any little thing that
Right.
is like, this is my little sanctuary, this is my peace that makes me happy, and you just all of a sudden feel like you can't do that anymore.
Right.
And there's something that is like, I don't know why I just can't seem to get this back, even when I try to do these things, it doesn't feel the same. I don't
Right.
know, to me that's like, I don't know, that's like a sign to me.
It don't feel the same because those were things
Uh-huh.
that you were doing in your single space.
Mm, yeah, but why okay, so do you feel like you have to give those things up in order to be in a partnership, even if those things are your comfort, so to speak, or your enjoyments?
I don't feel like you have to give them up, but I just feel like we subconsciously give them up.
Oh, I see. I do think it's hard though, to be single for a long time and um like really get into a relationship. I feel like it can be beneficial in some ways, but then it can be a detriment in other ways. Like and I think that it sort of happened to me. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um I'm thankful that I was single as long as I was, because I was able to sit with myself and enjoy myself and learn myself and heal all these things about myself. And that was great. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it took that desperation of like, okay, don't jump into this type of thing.
Right.
Like, really know what you really want and really take your time. So it created those disciplines in my life. But I think it also was too much time for me,
Right. Yeah, it
because
could be too much.
it's too much. Because then, like, oh, I thought somebody walked behind me. But I feel like then it's too much, and then you don't know how to share your time.
Right.
you don't know how to share your space. Like you don't know really how to give of yourself because now you're selfish with like, no, this is what I like over here, and you
Right.
can't break, like you said, conditions, right?
Right.
Now you, it's things that you just feel like you can't break apart or break away from because you like, this is my thing over here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it goes back to like, well, what do you really want? Like, because you have to adjust. You have, if you want someone in your life, you're going to have to adjust certain things. You're going to have to, you know, be open to um
Compromise.
compromise or other alternatives, and not just like your way type of thing. You've been doing your way, and you made a great point saying that this was you in your singleness,
Right.
but you have to show up differently in a partnership. And some people don't know how to be a partner, and some people don't know how to be in a relationship. They can be in a relationship with themselves, but it takes another level of awareness, self-awareness, to be in a relationship with somebody else.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what would you say to people who still don't know themselves? Like if they at our age, like what would you say to them?
Man, you know, I wouldn't say, wouldn't say it's too late to get to know yourself, because it's never too late to get to know yourself. But if someone's our age and they don't know themselves, I would ask them, what's in your way? Like, really, like, what have you been doing where you've been neglecting yourself? Like,
Facts.
because if you don't know yourself by now, then that means you are giving yourself over to something.
Right.
Like, whether you're attentive to something else, someone else, and to me that is neglecting yourself. Like,
That's a fact.
which also is a result of why your relationships are not working out, because how can you get to know somebody else that you think you know, but you don't know yourself? That's like saying that you love somebody else, but you don't practice self-love for yourself. Like,
Right.
I don't think you can do that either. I
That's a
mean,
fact.
to, and that's my belief. Like, you, until you learn to love yourself and understand what love is and what that looks like and feel like, then how you gonna love? How you gonna show up and love somebody else, or how you gonna give somebody the best part of you when you're not giving yourself the best part of you? Like, you're only gonna give somebody who you are or what you believe
Mhm.
about yourself. That's the version they're gonna experience. You
That's a
know.
fact.
So yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a
It's
lot.
a lot.
Relationships are, they're a lot. And I hope this conversation like really opens up like people's minds to not see things one way. Like, I hope that's the takeaway, is
Right.
that um you are more open-minded to, you know, the other side of things, not just seeing things from your perspective or your experience one way. Because if that's the case, then you should be by yourself.
That's a
I
fact.
don't think that you should desire a relationship if you're not ready to unpack these things so that you can have a successful relationship. If you're not ready for that, then you have to continue to sit by yourself.
I will hope that this conversation leads to other conversations, leads to dialogue. So
Yes.
it's like I was having this conversation with my son because he had this girlfriend that he was messing with for a while, and like every time they spent time together, they was like doing shit, doing activities,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, be careful. Because you're doing these activities, but you don't know if you like her. It's easy to go outside and have fun
Right, exactly.
because you're doing things.
Yep.
You need to see what it is when it's just you and her.
And you're not spending money.
Right.
Yep. That's important.
Right.
It's very important because you're right. It is so true. And you, man, this is so true. This is a true story. This happened many years ago, but one of my girlfriends, she called me out on something because I did something that was kind of out of my character, but I did it so that I wouldn't hurt somebody's feelings. But she called me out on it. So it was this guy who asked me to go out on a date.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really didn't want to, but I've already kind of was misleading, I guess. And
Right.
it was like, I don't want to say, I guess I was misleading because I made him think that I was interested in wanting to go out on a date. So by then he wanted to take me out, and I thought he wanted to take me somewhere local. So I was like, well, okay, I'll go local because, well, he wanted me to go to Maryland. So I'm like, okay, so now you're taking me out to Maryland to some, bought, I think the harbor or whatever, and this seafood place. And I'm like, oh my God, now I got to commit to this. And I went through with it and I was like, all right, well, it's probably just going to be like this nice dinner. I'm going to just get it over with. And when I came back, I was talking to one of my girlfriends and she was like, you know what, T, you can't do that no more. Like, just, I know you're gonna hurt his feelings, but you just gotta cut it off. Like, and she held me accountable. She was like, nope, you're not gonna mislead him again because you don't like him. You know
Right.
what I mean? So like, cut it off. And I was like, all right. And I told him, I was like, you know what, it was a really nice date, but like, this is not gonna work for me. And it was, and I felt bad because it's like I had got a whole meal out of it and everything.
I feel
But
bad.
I mean, I know, but it was like I didn't know he was going to take me out of town. It was
Yes.
like, dang, that's why like the first date, it could be coffee. It don't have to be a lot of pressure. But it was just like, dang. So yeah, you never know. That's why spending money on somebody and eating good and going out for drinks, you don't know if you really like that person out. You gotta really sit with somebody when there's nothing going on. And yeah, it's
So
gonna be
he
all
and
in my shot.
so he ended up breaking up with her and saying that she was boring.
See,
And
see, without spending that much
I, I,
dollars,
I said
without
I
the
tried to
toys.
tell you. I said I tried to tell you. Like
Exactly. Yep. Don't spend no money, or I suggest like on first dates or on first second dates, it should be levels to it. Like, let's go back to like levels to it. You know what I mean? Because that, to me, I think that make things more intriguing when like there's levels to it, instead of trying to
right,
impress somebody with like, oh, pick the place and all this stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna pick a nice place, okay, like, but I'm just saying it should be conversational. Like, you should be able to like
conversation.
sit,
Right,
and if coffee is your thing or tea is your thing, let's sit and let's talk. It could be short. It don't have to be hours because that could be a lot
right,
unless that's the vibe you want. Like,
right.
unless it start out with the intention like, all right, well, we going to a coffee shop, and then you think you only going to give that person an hour, and then the vibes are there and you like, oh, well, I know this place down the block, you want to, then that's different. But I feel like the expectation shouldn't be that high
That's a
on
fact.
the first date or the first couple dates. Like, you gotta really unpack it and see how it works. Get to
It's a
know that
building.
person and
You
not put
you got to
the money
build.
on the table. Cause the money on the table, people they gonna be like, all right, bet. Like, what we
Yeah, I
doing?
mean, I want to go have fun too. Shit.
Yes, where we going? What we doing? And then you just got a good meal and you go home and you like, damn, like I could have just paid for my meal myself and I could have just been watching Netflix and enjoying
Facts.
my own company. See, that's why I just can't anyway. But yeah, I
All right,
can't.
my final question would be:
Yes.
do you think men are complicated?
All men are not complicated, but I feel like a lot of men have a lot of layers, just like women do. And I think that it takes for some women, I can't speak for all women, but for some women, it takes a lot to unpack that those layers with men. Because going back to, vulnerability, communication issues, lack of trust, um, it takes a lot, to learn to understand a
I mean,
man
as far as what they want,
and what, yeah.
you think
Oh,
they're complicated?
as far as what men want,
Right.
it can be complicated when a man isn't clear on what he want, or a man acting like he don't know what he want, and then can be misleading, or just like, oh well, I'm just taking my time to figure it out. It's like, well, figure it out.
And then let me know.
Figure it out over there and let me know, because I don't, like, we getting too old for that.
Yeah.
And for me, I just I don't tolerate that. I'm not making room for, like, you just taking me on this journey of, like, because to me it sounds like a placeholder situation until you figure it out. Like, I don't want to be a placeholder. Just, if we align, cool. Just let me know. Like, I'm not saying I'm gonna just be waiting on you to let me know, but like, you just gotta let me know. And if it's not for you, then say that too. You know what I mean? But so, to answer your question, I don't think all men are complicated, just like I don't think all women are complicated. But I think that there can be complications when you're unclear about what you want and where you are with it. That's it. Yeah.
Agree to that. Was that your final question?
Huh?
I said, did you have a last question?
Did I have a last question?
All
Let me
right.
go look at my notes real quick.
Let's see what we got.
I know, right? Hold up, hold up. I know we talked. Oh my gosh, we talked about all of that. Okay. What that's it. Let me see. I know they have. I don't know. Dag, I think I asked all my questions. I did. I think I did. And I think that main question was like how to yeah, how can we break the cycle and come together, and that was the question you answered. So I
Okay.
asked my questions. I think this
That's
is
good.
good.
Yeah, that's good. Um, I'll say this, and maybe this is a problem for me. Um, like I love the adolescence of love. I come from
Mhm.
I come from, sitting on the steps with my boys, and I already feel her energy, like when she's turning the corner, and then my boys is tapping me like, "Yo, your girl coming out." I'm like, "Chill." I know. And
Right.
you have those butterfly, and you're just like, you
Mm-hmm.
have a moment because you're just happy to see the person. Like, you're
Right.
happy to entangle in that energy.
Yes.
And I don't, and maybe that may be a problem for me because people don't care about that shit anymore. Like,
Right. But again, it goes back to you meeting your person or having your person. Because your
right,
person is going to get it.
right,
But a lot of these people out here, they're superficial and they just don't like that kind of thing, or they think that thing is corny. But to each his own. But anyway, to your point, go ahead. I
I
don't
would
think
just
you should
say,
limit yourself based on those experiences at all. I don't think that there's something wrong with you because that's what you want, because that's like your thing. That's like your confirmation of, like, this feels right to me
right,
because these are the things that make me happy. These are the things that are exciting. And I think that is something that is lost, because I
right,
think that the connections that we have are superficial.
right,
And I also feel like we're inauthentic, right?
mm,
With our expectations and what and how we're showing up and
right,
what we actually want, which sometimes hinder those butterflies and things like that. Because I like excitement too, and I like it throughout my relationship. And I
right,
know there's ebbs and flows and peaks and valleys, and it's like, all right, I'm not really, all right, this is not,
right,
we're not up here right now, but we got to still work to get up here. And I actually like feeling those feelings of, like, excitement.
right,
Like when I feel like it's a problem when you see that person and you feel nothing for that
That's what
person.
I'm saying.
It's like, what happened? I'm not happy to come home. We don't give each other hugs. Like, what's
Right.
up? Like, that's a problem. It's definitely a problem.
That's what
So
I'm saying.
there's nothing wrong with that. If that's your thing and that's what you like, and that's the connection that you want, then don't ever lose that, because that's the special part that I think some relationships are lacking.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
All right, so I hope y'all enjoyed this part two. I think it's been a great conversation. We tackled a lot of things. Um, I hope the people are taking whatever parts they want to take out. Everything's not specific to everybody. Like I said, everybody's not a monolith. Everything's not specific to every man or every woman. It just do the work, basically. Like, how long are we gonna say I'm doing the work
Mhm.
instead of actually doing the work? That'd be my message.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. We have to show up and do the work, because the fruit of it or the lack thereof is going to show. And the work is not for the other person, the
Right.
work is for you. So whether
That's a
you're
fact.
in a relationship or you're in your season of singleness journey,
That's a fact.
then it is for you to be a better woman for you. So,
Oh shit! I got a last question for you
yeah.
because you brought up the journeys. All right.
Okay.
So what do you think about a woman who can't control themselves because of the physical? Like, every time she has sex with somebody, like, she goes, she loses herself, basically. Do you
Um,
think that she should stop having sex, or do you think that that's a issue that needs to be addressed? Like, why do you lose yourself just because you had sex with somebody?
yeah, that's trauma. Trauma, that's trauma there. Rather that is to me it seems like there's some type of trauma there, where you unravel because you've given yourself to somebody and now you just don't know how to act. To me, I feel like that's a woman that feels like they're looking for validation, or they feel insecure, they have insecurities about the connection, or feeling like, well, this should be that, you know what I'm saying? So again, I think that that stems back to like something going on the inside of you. Like, what is unhealed in you that you're making this that, you know? um and I feel like that's a part of her, like being insecure or neglecting herself, um or even psyching herself out to believe that there's something based on her own emotions, or her own expectations. So still, I feel like that's still some parts of her that needs to be healed, needs to be addressed. And even if that means taking time to, be in this like abstinence journey, just not for the other person, but to get clear on where she is in her
Right.
life, and be present. So I would address that if I were her. You know what I mean? Like, that's something to be addressed. That's something to be looked into. Because you should never lose yourself based on that. Which we have to table that again, because that would be a soul, because that would be a soul tie. That's them soul ties. You know what I mean? And that is an unhealthy soul tie, that you lose yourself like that.
That's
So
a fact. So, like I was saying, people, I hope you grasp something. That's all.
there was a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot of unpacking. I hope you grasp something. I hope that I can lend to some understanding to how men feel or think about certain things, because I know from the conversations I have, women say that men don't talk about those certain things, or they don't express those certain things.
Hmm.
Um, I'm comfortable enough to speak to those things, and if you're talking to a man that won't have those conversations with you, I don't know if you can move forward, because you need to be able to have those conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you need to be able to have those conversations. You can't just sweep that under the rug and be like, "Well, you don't want to talk about that, so we just ain't gonna never talk about it." Like, huh?
Correct.
You know, you gotta be able to communicate, especially if it's with your person or your partner, somebody that you're going to be sharing your life with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
Oh.
you got to communicate at some point. Sorry. I know it's hard, and I know sometimes it hurts, and you don't want to face yourself in the mirror and things of that nature, but you got to
But
do it.
it's necessary.
That's a fact. You got to do it. So this is part 2 of our intimate conversations. Thank you for joining us once again. Um, I guess we'll talk soon, because I know you're going to have more questions for me.
Comments. Absolutely.
So until the next time, have a good one. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
All right. Peace.
Oh, come and talk to me. I really want to meet you, girl. I really want to know your name. Can we talk for a minute? Can we just talk?